Welcome to a mini session here at Ryan's Computer Service. Basically, it's not going to be that long of a stream tonight, but I thought we would kind of do it in a different spot. Things are a little bit messy at the moment from a project I was doing earlier. I'll be honest, it's not the most cleanest place around here, but there's always something productive going on, computer-wise and work-wise. So it's kind of an interesting day today. I'll kind of start out with some landscaping work that needed to get done at my place of employment. So in the agreement, he told me that if they had to take their lifts on the lawn, that they were going to put like plywood down or plywood tracks around the building. So when they went around, that they wouldn't run the lawn. And unbeknownst to me, they did not follow up on that. And I kind of swung through there this morning, and I was a little kind of surprised and disappointed at what I saw, because before my supervisor started working on it and I started or finished it up, and believe me, I still have a lot of work to do. I got stuff in the cemetery I gotta level out yet, because we had a couple of trees that got so do the landscaping along the edging of the parking lot, because the plow just kind of rooted it up. I'd say at least a good 6 to 7 inches down. It's like a little gully between the blacktop and 6 feet of. I don't even use major power equipment for this. I'm just using a shovel and a rake, garden tractor and a trailer, and a 36-inch lawn roller. And between a Dodge Caravan with a 3.3 liter V6 with which you can tow up to 2,600 pounds. So the most I can tow around is a garden tractor. I think the job at this point in time, after what happened to the front lawn and around the church building, instead of sitting there fooling around, fiddle farting with Phil, because the egg tires would make a mess out of it, but I should have gotten one with turf tires, and I could have gotten that job done within one with a shovel and a rake and load upon load of. And the little trailer I was using is only good for 1,500 pounds of dirt. So thankfully, we have a very kind person in the parish that was excavating and has a lot of major power equipment. No, he didn't come and help me do that, but he supplies dirt. And he's also our grave digger. So if it wasn't for him supplying the dirt, I wouldn't be able to do half of the projects or landscaping projects that needed to get done. So it's good to have people that are able to supply materials that you need. But it'd be kind of nice if I could have borrowed a pickup truck and a car hauler, because I could have went down to Ace Hardware and rented a compact tractor to do the job. Because at this point, looking at it, it looks like garbage. And probably what needs to be done is just tear up the lawn where it got all tore up, and then just regrade it. I don't know if I'm going to get a tractor, because I have no way of going to go. I don't have a truck or a powerful enough vehicle to haul a 2-axle car hauler. So tractor rental is kind of expensive in itself, because the place I work for, their funds are kind of limited. It's not a rich entity. Just because we're getting major projects done, but the money that was donated for all those major renovations and projects and stuff going on, roofing and concrete work and stuff like that. That money is earmarked specifically for that work, so I can't really take that money and go rent a tractor for the day or rent a truck or car hauler. There are people in the parish that have trucks, but either a lot of them are busy working during the day and they don't have time. I don't mind getting behind the wheel of a pickup truck, and because there was one place I worked for one summer. I'm not going to say where, and I'm not going to say who I worked for, or the people, or didn't mention any names, because I'm still kind of aliases, or not aliases, but I'm still kind of friends with some of those people yet, and I don't want to embarrass them or make them vulnerable in any way. So, well, I'll put it this way. Basically, things didn't work out there. The boss made things miserable. Not because he wanted things perfect, but just because he was being a bad apple is a really nice way of putting it. I mean, a really bad apple, like a apple that's been sitting in the fridge for half a year, that's got mold on it and rot and fungi. And the only thing that was pleasurable about the job was when he was away, because you could do your work in peace and not have somebody hovering over your shoulder screaming and hollering at you, and you look like a complete nitwit in front of guests. And place I worked at was a show garden, and it's just that wasn't the place for me. The only thing really pleasurable there was if I had to go pick up or dump a load or something. It wasn't a 2-axle dump truck. It was just a GMC 3500 from probably at least a good 15 years ago or so. That was a nice truck. Would have been cool if it was a diesel and it had a turbo on it. But I don't think that for the show garden that I worked for, I don't think that'd be a very good image for them if they had a straight pipe diesel dump truck cruising the streets of Manitowoc. Well, I'm not getting into any further what went on and stuff like that, but and then on a few rare occasions, I've had friends that let me borrow their trucks. That was years ago. And in all honest reality, I'd have to say the most favorite truck I've ever driven was a Ford F-250 from the mid 90s with a 7.3 diesel Power Stroke with a turbo and it being straight piped, not stacks out of the deck of the truck or the bed of the truck, rather, not looking like a semi or anything stupid, idiotic like that. And no big nasty 8-inch tips on the end. It basically looked like stock exhaust on the end. But instead of having a muffler and a catalytic converter, it was piped all the way up to the manifold there. And it didn't even have a diamond tipped end on it. I think it was just conduit from Fleet Farm or something. But that had an awesome sound. And no, truck didn't have big jacked up tires on it or anything stupid like that. It was pretty much all OEM except for that. And other than that, whoever had it had roof markers put on it, which actually that was kind of cool. And then the previous owner before that had a camper cap put on the back of it. And it was an extended cab. It wasn't a shorty bed. It was a 6.5 feet or something like that. And that was a fun truck to drive. And then I had an uncle with a Ford F-150 from like the late 90s that had a leaky manifold on there. That had an awesome sound. But that was only like a 4.8 Triton. That wasn't even a 5.4 Triton. So that was kind of useless. Even though I could borrow that, but that would not have enough power to haul a 2-axle car hauler. So that's, even though unbelievably that he towed the 26-foot camper with it and a 32 footer camper, and the truck barely had enough power to. Well, the minivan that I'm currently using now, previous owner of that used hold an 18-foot camper, and that barely had the power to do that as well. And unbelievably, for 2001, the original exhaust system on there, and the original muffler, or not muffler, but what I meant to say was it had the original. It's got the original transmission on there yet. A lot of the CV joints and axles and bushings and stuff, that's all original on there yet. It's got like put 141,000. Actually, I'm just very shy of 141,000. I'm probably only like maybe 37 miles away from reaching 141,000. So I've almost put 20,000 miles on it since I got in it last year. Because I only had 121, I think it was 121,000. Yeah, that'll be, it's unbelievable. So I figured I put about 20,000 miles a year on it. So that isn't too bad. One nice thing is you don't have to worry about that vehicle deteriorating, even though it is rusting. And one of my rocker panels is completely gone on it. It's rusting from the inside out, so I might go to a salvage yard and get 2 rocker panels for the back, because that was my fault for not taking care of it fast enough. I should have kept boy soil on it all this time, and to be honest, I haven't been doing that. So that's why it deteriorated. And I use it as a service van a lot. So it's kind of embarrassing to go somewhere with a rusted out vehicle like that. I see a lot of service vehicles out there that are all rusted out. Like, there's one roofing company on Manitowoc that their minivans are all rusted out, and you can see, it looks like you can see holes through the floorboards and stuff. And I'm thinking, I don't want my service vehicles looking like that this week anymore. And not next week, but maybe sometime in May, once it's, hopefully by the end of May, the stay at home order will be lifted. Ever's decided to extend it, but here in Manitowoc County, things aren't really that bad. I would have to say Milwaukee is probably in a crisis with a lot of cases. In Appleton, Green Bay, I haven't really gone to Milwaukee since February, so that's the kind of thing that's. And I haven't really traveled to Appleton. Things have kind of slowed down here a bit, but that's kind of expected because, well, one, I never really did have 9 to 5 hours at this establishment. It's just called by appointment. And actually, it works quite well because that way I'm not sitting here all day doing nothing. And then when I'm not here, I can either concentrate on my school stuff or concentrate on my work. But since the church has been closed, not for good, but just until the ordinance has been lifted, I can my hours aren't as good as what they could be. But we'll get into some of why that is in a minute or two. So basically, it's been kind of there's a lot of interesting stuff that's been kind of going down, and I'm not going to get into all of it, but the main reason I started to stream tonight was there's been a lot of dishonesty, and we're only human, but it's one of those things where I haven't stolen or I haven't killed anybody or anything terrible like that, or caused harm to anybody, but sometimes when you're dishonest with your employer, not only does it hurt your trust and integrity with your employer, and it was something over really dumb and stupid. It wasn't anything serious or life and death, but the thing is, you got to have honesty and integrity when you're working, especially for a church. And I didn't get fired, but my supervisor fired me, even though I'm still employed with the church. I'm kind of on my own now. I don't really have anybody looking over my shoulders. So a lot of times if I was in a bind or a jam with something and I couldn't get to work, somebody would kind of help me out, but with a few things, or they make a few exceptions. But I pretty much ruined that privilege for myself. So I'm all on my own now. I don't really answer to anybody anymore other than one or two people. But that's the thing, when you're in a workplace, you gotta be honest, you can't step out in the faith of God. You gotta just kind of do things the way God intended and not take advantage of the system or anything like that. And that's exactly something I did. I don't even know why I'm putting this out there. It's probably going to ruin my future saying stuff like that, but sometimes you just kind of got to talk about it and just kind of get it off your chest. And this is good advice for other people out there that are younger than me or in the same position. Be honest. Always have integrity, have morals, have ethics. Don't steal. Don't cheat. Don't use blasphemy against God. Don't take God's name in vain. He loves everybody, but he does not like the sin that we commit. And you kind of, sometimes you got these ideas in your head, and I'm going to try something this way once and see what happens. And to be honest, it'll come back and bite you in the butt. And that's what happened to me. Never lie and deceit about anything. Things will pan out eventually, but you have to make it pan out. You can't sit there and play other people. And I'm not a manipulative freak here, or I'm not a narcissist. I do have passion for other people. I do care about other people. It's just sometimes things get to the best of you, and sometimes we just make honest mistakes. And that's exactly what happened to me. Sometimes when you don't think things 100% through, sometimes you slip up, and that's exactly what I did. And sometimes you gotta learn things the hard way. on certain occurrences like that, and it's not an easy thing to figure out. But I guess what I'm trying to say here is it kind of makes you a stronger person. It kind of makes you more independent and more assertive and more, instead of being a wishy-washy feministic person that sits around and waits for somebody to give them inspiration or give them direction. It's like some of those kids out there today that they expect their parents to support them for the rest of their lives, and that they think their ship is going to come in. Tell you what, your ship's not going to come in. It's not going to get handed to you on a silver platter. You got to go out and work for it. You got to make an honest living. To sit there and sponge off of the government and off taxpayers, it's wrong. You may be able to fool the government, but God is watching your every move. And even when it comes to my place of employment, it's better to donate stuff to your organization or donate time or materials or things that they need than to borrow them or steal. Or I'm not saying that borrowing is a good thing. It really isn't. You shouldn't borrow things from work. But if you want to donate, let's say you work for a church or nonprofit organization, donating stuff to your organization that's different. I still try to manage to get stuff for them that I know that they can use. Because that's just the kind of thing you do when you work for a church or something, or a non-for-profit organization. You try to give back, and that's something you should do. So life is not easy. Life throws you lemonade, or lemons you make lemonade. That's you just kind of got to make the best of things. You got to live up to your integrity and just do the best you can. You're not going to be friends with everybody. I'll be honest with you. You're not going to be able to please everybody. Even in my line of work, not at the church so much. Everybody's just giddy and happy that stuff gets done because nobody else wants to do anything. That they just magically want things to get done. But when it comes to your computer work, or if you're a consultant or something, or landscaper, you're not going to, no matter what you do for some people, you're never going to please them. And you have to accept that. Or there's some people out there that they try to gyp you into doing stuff for them, and then they never get around to paying you or compensating you for. So in a situation like that, what you do is, sure, you do business with them the one time, but if they request any more, you're very apologetic, saying, "I'm sorry, but I can't. You didn't pay me from the last time, so we can't do this anymore until you pay up." So you're not lying. You're not being a jerk. Question that the viewer had. There wasn't many questions this week, so that's why I didn't prepare for doing a Q&A type thing. So I hope everybody is doing the best they can. Like I said, be honest is one of the main keys. Have ethics. So on that note, we're going to end the stream on video. I have to redo a few things on there because what I'm doing is I got to finish up trimming any uncommentary there's things that don't really pertain to the video. basically just get all the rambling and stuff out of it and just cut straight to the chase. So once I get done figuring all that out, I will upload it. But due to everybody being on the internet all at once, it might take 5 or 6 hours for it to upload, maybe even a day or two. So on that note, I hope everybody has a good Saturday, because it's no longer Friday evening. It's now Saturday morning. It's 12:23 a.m. And God bless. Keep safe. Trust in God. And we will see you later later in the day.